Hey guys, it's Julie Ruiz with Love Group Travel, and guess what? I'm back. I actually might get to stand up and start driving today, which is super awesome. I have my post op in a couple of hours. So hopefully my internet is moving fast. I still see a little bit of a delay. Sherry, can you see a delay on my end?
Nope,
Nope.
you're good. I see
Okay.
it.
So I'm excited. I have not done a live since my surgery, but I am back. I feel great. And I have a very special guest on with me today. When I first had the idea of doing this charter, part of why I wanted to do it was the beauty of travel isn't just exploring the destinations and the cultures where you're going, it's the people that go along with you. And they're part of the journey. And I'm telling you, it enhances your life just as much as seeing new sights and new adventures. It is meeting those people and the ones that come along with you. And so I have a little picture I want to show you first before we get started. And this right here, I don't know, Sherry, if you can see this.
Yes, I can. Oh my God.
This was my dear friend Shari, who's on with me today. We lived in Guam together, and our husbands were stationed there. They were physicians in the Navy, and this is where the travel bug really got started. So look at our little sporty selves there in the rice fields of Bali. But I just thought that was fun to share. And those are two of our other really good friends, which I have not seen in a while. Hopefully we'll get to see them soon.
Yeah.
So,
Love it.
so Sherry, tell us a little bit about Guam and how just your history of going from wife, mother, you're still a wife and mother, but moving on into the professional world and things like that. Give us a little blurb.
Oh gosh, thank you, Julie. And oh my gosh, that seems just like yesterday being there. And that it really was that life of service that got started in all of us. I think when we, our spouses raised their hand and said yes to serving the country, and little did we know what that all meant at the time, but just the adventure and the people and just the love that we just really developed for this sense of community that the military brought. So my husband, John, served in the Navy for 20 years. In 2018, he retired from the military and said, it's time for something new. I'm ready to go off. And at the time, being a military spouse, we did 10 moves in 20 years. It was at a pace, and the ops tempo was fast and furious. And what's next? We were always living in the next move, I like to say, because we were always like, okay, we're here, hurry up, hang the pictures, get everything set. And then where are we going next? We never really, we had moments that we enjoyed at times of like just really anchoring. And that's why travel was so important to us, and seeing and really learning the culture and all. But at some point in time, reinventing myself 10 times, being a military spouse, sacrificing all the things that maybe I wanted to do with a career, it was always hinged on his career and our family's needs. And not that I, regret any of that, but I really lost myself in the process. And it wasn't until he handed me the American flag at his retirement ceremony, I felt a big exhale. And I knew at that point in time, I had been talking about how exhausted I was, how burnt out I was, how that living that lifestyle was kind of killing me on the inside. I had lost my passion, my purpose. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up because there was constant change. And so from that, I fell into health and wellness coaching. It was really my own journey of self-discovering, becoming very aware of what I needed. And so I became a nationally board certified health and wellness coach, started my own business, Alive with Purpose, in 2018-19, and just have been having a ball along the way, meeting women, supporting people, women and men, but mostly women, middle age, we're in this sandwich, if you will, of launching kids, taking care of parents, and somewhere in the middle, we're going through our own health stuff, whether it's perimenopause, menopause, it's chronic health conditions. And all of a sudden we wake up and go, wait a minute, what's going on with me? And it's taking a breath to say, you get to take care of yourself.
Well, and you've helped so many people along the way. I mean, I was one of the first volunteers for Shari, and she helped me reset, refocus. I had already been through all of my travel training, but really was at a crossroads whether I wanted to grow the business or did I just want to keep it muted, so to speak, just for my family and friends. And Shari really helped me. She looked at it from a perspective not of an outsider, but definitely an objective, lovely, wonderful, warm, supportive friend, but also, pointed out some things that I was scared of, but that she could help me work through. And she did. And my business propelled from there. I mean, it just skyrocketed. And so, Shari, I mean, you just never know in this world the people that you're going to come in touch with. And if you keep those relationships strong and come back to them, what it can do for your life, it can just enrich you beyond measure. And so that was part of this charter when I decided, everyone has come to me and was like, I want to go to Europe, but I really don't want to do it by myself. And when are you going on the next trip? And all of these things. I was like, well, maybe I'll try this. Maybe I'll throw one out there and I'm going to invite just little morsels from my life. And then it just snowballed into this one asked their friend, this one asked their friend, and we filled a ship. But we didn't just fill a ship. We filled a ship with really cool people. And Shari she's an author. She's authored a book now, and she's going to be on board. And tell us a little bit about your book. I'm going to pop up the picture.
Yeah, that's good. It's your turn. Yes, I have a copy here too. Yeah. And it's so fun. A book was never on my radar. I never considered myself an author, but I ended up through this whole process of kind of self-discovery. Someone had asked me, do you have something to share that could help someone? And for a lot of times I thought, not really, probably not. But then, it's that when we quiet those voices down, I like to call them the inner gremlins that get going of saying, who are you? What do you think you know? That kind of thing. I realized being a military spouse, I have learned so much in this journey, but the most important thing was really to learn who I was again. And so, from that method of just kind of going through that process of what would I tell someone who is like, I feel so lost, like where I was, like trying to figure out my purpose after my kids were launching and my husband had his great career and we were making all this changes for him. What about me? I had this, I say it in the book, I had this built up resentment that came, and it didn't come from like always, not wanting to support people. It came from not taking the time to take care of myself and focus on what was important to me. So really over the years that I've coached women, I really developed kind of this method. I call it the calm method. And that's what I wrote about in the book from the time of getting that American flag and walking through my journey and helping so many other women. There's really 4 key pieces, and I'll go through them real quickly if you want me to, is the calm method, the calm, and it's really, the C is for clarity for who you want to be and what you want in your life. That's the first step. And a lot of times we don't know what it is. It takes time, and it's time to put a pause in our lives, to step back, and that who we want to be. A lot of things in our world we get rewarded for doing. And I really looked at this a lot because I felt like busy was running my life. And I really asked the question to myself, who do I want to be? And now that's been a cornerstone in my coaching, is asking, when we vision out, who do you want to be? And we do that. And then what you want in your life, we have a very holistic way of looking at that. In all, I say the 5 main areas of your life, when it's looking at your health, your finances, your relationships, your spiritual life, and your vocation, and looking at that. And then the A is awareness to what's slowing you down. In the book, I write about 7 of the most common phrases that I hear. I don't have time. I don't have permission. I feel guilty. These are just a couple of them, but I go into deeper, and then I give some tools in there of, are you feeling this? This is something that you can look at. And then the L is learning to listen to your body. And my approach is very holistic. It's much different than a life coach going, we're just going to focus on what you want. It's looking at, how is this impacting your body? How is this impacting your health? And it's so interrelated. Those 5 areas of our lives are interrelated, because if we're not showing up and fueling ourselves good, it is going to really reflect in those other areas of our lives. And then the M is mindset, the mindset to say yes to yourself every day. We live in a world where, when we use the word self-care, a lot of people start to think that means selfish. And it's quite the opposite. When we can pour into ourselves, we actually show up better for everyone else. So that's kind of the preface of the book. There's lots of stories in it. I'm very pretty vulnerable in spots. And writing this book was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, because my editors that worked with me kept saying, I want more here. You got to go deeper here, because it was just surface level. And that took time, but I'm really just so proud of it. And just the reflection that has come back from women who have read the book, even men who've read the book, like, gosh, I didn't ever think about those stressful moments I had, and how I was holding my breath through things, and how it's impacting my health. And so a lot of that has really been, that's my reward, is seeing someone say, this book really helped me.
Well, and you've been a lifelong volunteer. We're both from the same camp when it comes to that, really giving of ourselves, especially when we could not work during those duty stations where it just didn't make sense for us to pick up and pick up our careers. We poured into the community, poured into, whether it was you still in the Navy or me outside in my other communities, which I'm still very involved. But I think that this book is applicable to any pretty much middle-aged woman who, it's not just for military spouses, that you can get so much information from this. So one thing that I'm really excited about, Shari's going to be on board. John and Shari will be on board. And for you to get to know her. This is part of why I'm leaking some of these tidbit morsels out about the charter, and we'll meet some more folks in coming months. But if you want to go ahead and read her book, then we can have like a chat about it when we're sailing one day, make some more connections on board. I know that so many folks could really benefit from meeting you and working with you along the way. This is not going to be something where it's like a session where we're trying to teach a bunch. It's more like, we're going to go have this amazing adventure together. We're going to make these connections. And but leading up to it, this is something that you might want as a reference point, before you get on board. And we're just so lucky to have Shari and John with us. We're also going to do some veteran meetups and coffee and conversations. And so I'm sure John will want to be involved in that. We've got quite a few physicians that also served. That should be some really rewarding conversations. So I'm super excited about this. And Shari's going to share this with her network of women as well, because we have a few spots for Shari's folks on board. So that's really cool. one thing I was going to talk about, we just have a few updates on the charter. Airfare, we've almost finished with everyone's airfare, which is good. If you still want assistance with airfare, please let us know. This will be posted in both Facebook. It will also be on the YouTube, which I will share with all of the via email, because there's a lot of you that say that you're not on Facebook and you don't want to get on Facebook, which is just fine. So we'll have a copy of this recording as well on YouTube. Insurance. Okay. This is always, Shari, this is always something people are asking about is insurance. Anything can happen. So we have updated everyone's policies that it's already booked, and you will be getting the update in premium for your total trip expense that will be coming to you via email in the next week. Our sip and sail event, we have a sip and sail event, Shari, that's coming up. It was supposed to be on April 12th, but I did a crazy grandma thing. Newbie grandma. My first granddaughter's birthday is April 11th, and April 12th was Saturday. That's when the birthday party is going to be. So what am I doing? We're going to move this sip and sail because I cannot miss a grandbaby birthday. There's no way that's going to happen. So I have moved that to April 26th. So any of the Texas folks that are close, it will be an in-person event. Anyone that lives abroad, which we have quite a few. We've got Phoenix, we've got North Carolina, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia. Heck, you were going to meet some people that I went to high school with. People, this is really, really fun. So it's like every phase of life. It's going to be really, really a cool experience. So if you live in one of those far off places, we're going to have a Zoom event and get together and toast for the sailing, answer any questions. Next month, Shari, speaking of connections, Shari introduced me to Ashley Olson, and she is a lifestyle and branding photographer, as well as the founder of Crowned for Ashes. And she is going to come on board with her husband. She's going to be our photographer, and we're going to have some drone footage and all of these things. I met Ashley through Shari. So during COVID, I needed some branding photos done. I needed some coaching sessions. So I went to Shari's house. In Florida, we had like the best time. But Ashley has an amazing story. And she was a young widow and has turned that experience into an amazing nonprofit organization. So I'm excited for you guys to meet her next month. She's going to be coming on in March. We're trying to work on that date. I think it's going to be March 26th. So super excited. We're so fun. It's so fun. So Shari, give us your website. I've got this right here. I want people to be able to connect with you. Let me get it. It's a banner. Here we go.
Yeah, it's sharibiery.com, and you can go on there. You can actually find the book there. You can find more about me and what I do in coaching. And so, yeah, I'm super excited about this. Julie, you've been on, you just kept texting me, and between our moves and everything this last year, I was like, I know, I want to go. I got to get back. I'm so glad that it is all coming together, and you are the master of organizing all these people to come together, and just what a fabulous experience to be able to enjoy this together. And this is what life's about, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, let's do the things we love and figure out, if there's anything slowing us down, figure out what that is and get it out of the way, because life's too short.
Yes. And this is part of filling our cup so it can spill over to others, and so that we can just be better. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much. And more for Shari. We're going to put everything into Facebook. So if you have any questions, she's going to be on there and she can answer directly. If you want to reach out, if for some reason you don't see that, just reach out to me and we'll point you in the right direction. So until next time, thank you guys.